Hey guys, welcome to the cast. I am JRT, and tonight we have round 2 of the ESEA Advanced Playoffs for Season 29. iNTACT Esports up against Team Rain. iNTACT was dominant last night against Team Clarity, coming out with a 16-4 victory on Mirage, thrown again, and then a 16-7 victory on Overpass, which we'll see again tonight. Pretty much the exact, not pretty much, it is the exact same map lineup. And here we go with round number 1. Shoker going to get the opening frag on Willmeister, but Spongy with the quick double, opening things up with a bang from the USPS. Shoker gets a double of his own to open things up at the B site. Now it's up to Spammer and KMZ, and they do the damage. What a fast and furious start here to round number 1. Shake's the last one standing in a 1v3. KMZ, Spammer, and Shoker. As Spammer takes a lot of damage from Shake. Shake still has a chance here. Throws that smoke onto the site. Good smoke thrown. Trying to open up some 1v1s for himself. Does get it with Spammer, but Spammer wins the day. 2K for him, and a hot start here for Rain in round number 1. In the previous matches, I should say in round 1 of the playoffs. What am I seeing in the chat? Thief Sniper, ugh, GRTGV has begun. What does that even mean? Anyway, over in that first round, Rain had quite a challenge with Thunder Logic. They beat them on Mirage. Lost them on Mirage 16-13. Beat them on Train 16-10, and then beat them on Overpass 16-14. But it took 85 rounds. That is almost double what iNTACT took to dispose of Team Clarity. 43 rounds for iNTACT and 85 for Rain. That's plus 42 compared to iNTACT. So maybe a bit of fatigue will come into play here for Rain, playing a lot of maps over the last 2 days and a lot of rounds as well. KMZ going to get that frag with the MAC-10, then Shake going to trade it back on KMZ. KMZ, speaking of which, was dominant over those last 55 frags combined for him. He really carried the team to victory against Thunder Logic. Swan firing away with the Deagle here, trying to connect on a frag. 4v4 bomb planted here, post plant. Shoker throwing that molly into the entryway at market. And iNTACT having forced up quite a bit here in this round. Just want to save their guns. Powers at bench. And Turismo going to get the headshot on Spammer. Just going for the exit frags now are iNTACT. But Rain is indeed going to win round number 2. And it could be a repeat of what happened last night against Clarity. As Clarity did indeed find the first 3 rounds before iNTACT came out on their buy round and started to roll along. But Turismo is going to find Dolphy as well. Good exit frags, forcing Rain to buy up 2 more guns than they wanted to. And now Rain has indeed won that round. 2-0 in their favor. And in the chat, it means he wants to have your babies. Okay. Well, Thief Sniper, I have 2 already. I'm sorry. I'm taken. In any case, here we go. Round number 3. There are the 4 AKs bought up by Rain, along with the Galil over on iNTACT since they forced up in the previous round. I'm going to be on a bit of a save here. Pistol armor buy up. Shoker throwing that early nade into the window and catches Swan off. Good nade thrown by him. 5v4. 134 on the clock. Dolphy firing away over at the A site. Turismo waiting with the scout. Oh no, GoTV is lagging. This is not good. There we go. Turismo did manage to find that frag. Somehow, GoTV didn't show me. KMZ trades it back. Then Spammer comes onto the site, catches Spongy off guard, and it leaves only Shake and Willmeister up and running. Both of them having quite a night for themselves. Everyone on iNTACT had a great night. I think 3 of them, 3 had 40 plus frags. Swan with 41 last night, Turismo with 44, and you see Willmeister finding Spammer. So for the exit frag, again, I think iNTACT's going to save these guns. But anyway, Willmeister, did I say 40? Anyway, Turismo had 44. He led the team last night in terms of frags and ADR. ADR of 105 for the old Turismo. Turismo leading the charge again, as he did in Season 28 main playoffs. Very much a clutch performer. The bomb's going to explode, and Rain will take the 3-0 lead. Oh, good on Willmeister spotting out that AK and picking up off the ground. 3-0, though, in favor of Rain. iNTACT play like Mythic, they win, says Parks. Well, you can't argue with that. iNTACT indeed solid on the season. 14-2. Over on Rain's side, 11-5. No slouches either. But in terms of stats, definitely goes iNTACT's way. much stronger, at least statistically, in terms of fragging power. But you do have KMZ to deal with, who is always a threat. Plus 91 in terms of kill to deaths on the season, and 344 frags. ADR of 91 as well. As Swan gets that opening frag. There it is, the first buy round for iNTACT. And this is where Rain has to start really making sure that they don't give iNTACT a window of opportunity, because iNTACT will take it right out of their hands. Spammer, Dolphy, and Shoker still standing, but now a quick 5v3 in the early goings of the round. Then Swan picks up his second, throwing the smoke as well to block off the view of both Dolphy and Shoker. Only Shoker is at mid. Dolphy is actually leaning towards that A site inside of Palace, where Swan is now coincidentally looking towards. Spongy and Swan have a good crossfire set up here if Dolphy comes out, so I would be very surprised if Dolphy survives a push out of Palace onto balcony. Shoker with the bomb on his back is going to come out towards mid. Willmeister watching the close angle and giving Shoker that mid access. And Shoker takes advantage of it, and he gets two. Wow, Shoker putting on a show there at mid, finds Turismo, then gets Willmeister, but he will not get any further. Spongy, gets that final frag, and Spongy and Swan were guarding the A site pretty valiantly. Did not let it go down, and iNTACT pick up their first round victory. 3-1 in favor of Rain. I know, Erupt. It does sound like that, but that is the way it's pronounced. Shoker. If it actually means... Anyway, whatever. Meister going towards Cat. 5th round of play, guys. Swan and Willmeister playing towards... Swan and Turismo playing towards country. Here come Rain. They're just going to charge forward here, and the one from Shoker over on Willmeister. Shake trades it back, but Shoker's trying to do some damage here as they're entering onto the B side. Already dropped down. There's iNTACT. Shake responding. Spammer gets one. KMZ another. And Rain have control of the B side, at least for the time being. Turismo, always a threat, still alive along with Spongy. Turismo managed to sneak into the site. Oh, but Spammer does catch him while he was sneaking into that site. That leaves only Spongy standing, and Rain trying to fully reset the economy of iNTACT, something that Clarity was unable to do last night. Maybe Rain won't be able to either, as Spongy gets a nice touchdown from the HE grenade. Still needs to figure out how to get both Spammer and Dolphy, then defuse this bomb. Has the kit to work with, and uses his second to last piece of utility. Spammer around the smoke, gets a headshot, and Spammer's playing really well so far tonight. That's a 3K for him on the night. Has 6, along with Shoker, who has 6 as well. Spammer on the season. The IGL for Rain. More of the typical IGL that you saw a couple of years ago, with stats that aren't anything to write home about, with 221 frags, minus 50 in terms of kills to deaths, and 67.1 ADR. But this time around, he's doing pretty well. We'll see if he can keep it going. 4-1 for Rain. iNTACT's going to be on a pistol save. Nox and Optimus are no longer on this roster. Yeah, they're not on vacation, Nathan. They were actually cut from the roster. It's a long story. I've been through it a lot, but I'll get to it again if you want me to. Spammer going to get 1. KMZ gets a double. iNTACT, though, is doing pretty well for themselves, finding 2. And Swan's trying to do more damage, picking up that AK off the ground. Dolphy from the flank, though, gets him, and KMZ has the 3K, just like that iNTACT fall. But, of course, it was just a save round for them. But 5-1 for Rain. Now, I expected it to be more like this last night when iNTACT was playing against Clarity on Mirage. I've seen iNTACT play on Mirage a few times, and it's definitely one of their worst maps, which is why I was saying last night that it's a good pick. It is, again, a good pick by Rain. But they're going to have to deal with iNTACT on Overpass, and if they win this one, Inferno as well, which is not going to be an easy task. It's going to be an uphill battle for Rain all night long. We'll see how it goes here as iNTACT has Swan and Shake with the double op setup. Mid-season, Rain made a couple of changes, adding Powers and Shoker, as Powers does go down to Turismo to open things up here in round number 7. Anthem Hill asking whose pick is this? Well, I think I just pretty much said that. Shoker over at mid with KMZ, and they're going to back off and maybe rotate around to the A site, meet up with Dolphy, who's hanging out in Palace right next to those pillars. 3 members of iNTACT on that A site, 2 on B. And Spammer's playing with fire right now over at Connector. Old Swan and Turismo could flick around and dome him, but Turismo a little bit impatient, but it pays off. Pushing up aggressively, gets Spammer, 5v3. Dolphy. Oh, that is not the molly he wanted to throw at all. Wanted to get that over on through to the balcony, but just misses the throw and then has to wait a little bit longer to get onto that A site. 40 seconds remaining in the round for Rain to make their play. And Swan seeing all the utility use. He's definitely going to get one. There it is. Spongy chimes in for another. Then Swan gets the double. So iNTACT just rocking along here in round number 7. Looking like the iNTACT of old. 5-2 in favor of Rain. 8th round of play. Easy for my boys, Swan and Shake, says Chris in the chat. So lots of iNTACT fans here tonight. Haven't seen any Rain fans, not many Rain fans at least in the chat. Probably because they're streaming the match too, but who knows? 8th round of play. 2 AKs, a UMP-45 and 2 CZs. There's Turismo rocking away at the stairs, finding Powers. Spongy gets Choker. Swan finding Spammer. Now it's up to Dolphy and KMZ as Dolphy does get 2, but he falls and Turismo just rocking along. 3K for him. 3rd round victory for iNTACT, and these rounds are happening so quickly that it's very hard to keep track of the action, but we're here. 9th round of play, 5-3 for Rain. And iNTACT now only down by 2. Checking out that scoreboard, Turismo 8-5, Spongy 7-7, and Swan 7-5. Spongy last night had 29 frags, KDR of 1.53, and the KDRs are ridiculous for iNTACT, obviously, since they were pretty dominant in the match, losing only 11 rounds over the series. But yeah, you're looking at Shake leading the charge with 2.19 KDR. That's probably going to change as we get through tonight, and if iNTACT makes it tomorrow night as well. Spongy wants back into MDL, says Parks. He absolutely does. He's made that very clear. Turismo going to find that frag on KMZ, though. Getting to the action, I'll get back to that. Powers trades it back. Good block frag. Willmeister's waiting for the farm. He gets 2, then a 3rd. Willmeister with the 3K on the pistol save for Rain, and then Spongy finishes it off on Spammer. So not even the bomb plant coming in there for Rain, and iNTACT is now on a 3-round run. Back to Spongy. So Spongy, I'm pretty sure, has made it clear that he wants to get back into MDL. That's his objective. He could see that with iNTACT. If iNTACT wins here, they have a chance, at least, of winning their way to MDL. They will qualify for the relegation tournament. So that's one thing. The winner of Advance goes straight to MDL, no questions asked. Who that will be, well, is anyone's guess, but there are some suspicions that it will be either iNTACT or Furia. A lot of people want that iNTACT Furia final. I can't say that it wouldn't be awesome to cast, because it would be. We'll see if it comes to fruition, though. Furia's not out of the woods yet. They're playing against Mast, and Mast is has a lot of MDL experience on their squad, and they gave Furia quite a run for their money in the regular season, losing only 16-14. Willmeister gets the opening frag in the round. 5v4 here, around number 10. Choker finding Willmeister. Spongy trades it back on KMZ. Back and forth action here. Powers is going to find the frag on Shake, though. So Turismo, you see him rotating around to the B site, knowing it's been overtaken here by Rain. Powers is very lit. Dolphy definitely going to get the bomb plant, but not before Swan finds Choker. Powers, oh, nice little flick to the head of Swan, making it a 2v2, and then a great molly thrown. Spongy runs through it, and that's not expected at all by Rain. Dolphy had his eyes on the opposite direction, and Spongy finds him. Powers with a 2K, looking for a 3rd, gets it, flicks around, knows Turismo's right on his tail, but Turismo gets the frag and wins the round for iNTACT. Rain close to ending the run here for iNTACT, but iNTACT's going to get a 4th round victory. Rain getting 2,900 on the loss bonus, plus the 800, making 3,700 go into their bank accounts. That should be enough. They want to just go for AKs, but I think they're going to save for utility. No, they're going for the AKs. Forget about that utility. They're going to think that 3 smokes is enough. 3 smokes, 4 flashbangs, and a molly. We'll see how it pans out for them. Single op setup now for iNTACT, AK for Turismo, and 3 M4A4s round out their buy. Mast is getting taken out too soon in the playoffs, says Parks. Yeah, I would tend to agree. It's a bit of a tough situation for them going up against Furia so early on. I would like to see Mast go into the relegation tournament for MDL. Maybe they'll get the invite. I don't know how ESEA operates in terms of inviting people to relegation tournaments, or even if they have invites. I know there was a bit of a dispute last season with iNTACT not getting invited to the relegation tournament, but we're here now and we're so close to the next one that I think that's not even on their minds. Turismo on the A site with Spongy and Swan. Standard setup for them. The other two on the B site. Willmeister watching Cat, and then throws that Molly into apartments. Spongy waiting patiently here, and Rain taking their time. Finally going to make an execute here towards the B site. The lurk spammer is down, so nothing doing there on A. Shake waiting for them to drop down. Gets one. Willmeister gets the second. Then Shake finds the third, leaving only KMZ standing, who's somehow finding a way to get the frags on the board. It's just not enough as Spongy spots him out from market and ends him, dropping him to the ground. 5 rounds in a row for iNTACT. 3,400 loss bonus coming in for Rain. But still, because they bought up in that previous round, now they're looking at a pistol armor buy-up instead of having an AK, ops, and lots of utility. So that's why that force-up, for me, was a bit questionable, but they took the chance. It didn't pay off, and now they're going to have to try to make it work with the 2 Deagles and the 3 P250s. Over on iNTACT, well, same story. Did manage to get another AK out of that previous round. 2 AKs, 2 M4A4s, and the AWP. KMZ slowly working his way up into Palace. The other 3 waiting at the ramp to throw a bit of utility. Only Flashbang's going to come in, and that 1 smoke. Oh, they had 2 smokes. Anyway, Turismo doesn't really care if the smoke's there or not, just sprays KMZ through it. 5v4. Spongy waiting at CT spawn, looking for some action. He is going to find it. 1, 2, and then Shoker with the Wandeeg. He's really good with that Deagle. But him and Powers just trying to get this bomb planted. Willmeister's going to try to make it difficult for them, and indeed he does, getting Shoker and Powers with the 2K spray down. 7-5 for iNTACT. So at one point we were 5-1 in favor of Rain, but iNTACT didn't stay down for long. 6 rounds in a row. No answer yet from Rain. I think that timeout's going to be called for them because they don't want to mess up this next buy round. Very important for them. Let's check out that scoreboard. Turismo 12-5 now. Spongy at 13-9, so Spongy doing pretty well for himself. And the other double-digit frag member of the server is KMZ at 10-9. So just to talk about KMZ's performance a little more in detail against Thunder Logic. In the train win, 16-10, he had a record of 27-17 with an ADR of 97.7. Over and overpass, where they won 16-14, again a key player, 28-17, and an ADR of 88.3. So, I mean, in the first map, he wasn't doing too well, but then once he picked up his game, it really was a difference. And KMZ is the difference maker for Rain. If he's not fragging, Rain is probably not winning. There we go. Pause has now ended. Willmeister throwing that early molly into the apartments as Powers does find the opening frag on Spongy. So good start here for Rain, trying to break through. The aggression, though, for Willmeister is just so well timed. Dolphy didn't expect him to come on through. He gets that frag, and in the meantime, Turismo pushes up from underpass to get a second. Rain did respond for 2 of their own, so the trade's coming in. But a 3v3 and the bomb is down, so advantage intact. Powers is going to catch a jumping Swan off guard in CT spawn. 3v2. Still no bomb control. And for that reason, I still say that iNTACT has an advantage in the round, but 1 minute left to play, and Rain's going to probably try and pincer in. Watching the outside area. Just makes it look easy on that frag. Powers goes down. 2K for Turismo so far. KMZ and Spammer still standing, and KMZ the biggest threat right now. Got the op in hand. Great smoke thrown there by iNTACT, waiting patiently, keeping that in hand. And they still have a molly to throw, which I believe Turismo is going to follow up with right after this smoke fades. KMZ getting him molly of his own ready. 25 seconds left, and there's the molly. Perfect timing. Spammer walks into it, burns down to 20 HP, but still manages to spot a Turismo, and then stands in the molly while it blooms towards him under his feet. Spammer just cannot evade that Molotov. and he falls, leaving only KMZ standing, hunting Willmeister down, but there's not going to be enough time to plant this bomb. 6 seconds. That's it. That's all. iNTACT win the round by letting the time expire. KMZ still managed to carry this op into the next round, but man, that molly, Spammer could not evade it. iNTACT getting an 8th round victory. 7 rounds in a row for iNTACT. And Rain having 5, iNTACT securing the first half, technically, with that 8th round victory. MLG Poet coming in with a savage. Rain should just forfeit? I don't think so. Come on. They still got a chance. KMZ is not helping his own cause by missing that shot, then walking back into the molly. The mollies just not going the way of Rain at this stage. Spammer facing down the smoke. 3-round lead now for iNTACT, and that early frag does not help Rain's cause. Spammer comes out of the smoke, finds one, flicks around to Spongy's head, but just cannot find it in time. Spongy ducking down towards cover, and he will have time to get some reinforcements. Good flashbang thrown by iNTACT forces Spammer to turn away, and Spongy takes advantage of that. 2K for Spongy, and the molly towards Palace from Turismo. 4v3. Bomb still in Rain's possession. Powers trying to sneak up underpass. I think Turismo might be thinking someone is there. He does check it, but then backs off, so the timing for the time being in favor of Powers. He's going to sneak his way up connector, then spots out Turismo. Good frag! Flicks around to Cat and gets Willmeister as well. Powers now going to have to help his team even further as Shake and Spongy are still standing, and Shoker and Dolphy are getting closed in on. Spongy finds Dolphy. Shoker is still standing, but the bomb is not planted here. 27 seconds left. Powers cannot finish off Shake. 3K for Spongy in the meantime. Shoker, the last one standing, and he throws that HE grenade towards connector. 16 seconds left. Has to pick up that bomb and plant it. He does have an opportunity to do so, but I don't think he got it. There we go. Gonna pick it up. And he doesn't stick it. Surprisingly, that was his opportunity. He's gonna die now. No bomb plant, nothing. And he can't even get these frags. Just has to, unfortunately, walk into that molly, and another molly frag for Spongy. 9-5 in favor of iNTACT. 15th and final round of play, and Rain have not picked up a round since round 6. 8 rounds in a row for iNTACT. And here we go. Let's see what happens in this final round of play on the first half. Molly going to be thrown quickly by iNTACT. Rain still has enough to buy up 4 AKs and the UMP-45. Turismo waiting at connector for anyone to try and peek around mid. He's got that M4A4 in hand. Over on Rain, so far in the playoffs, at least before this one started, KMZ had 71 frags, most in the server, 1.25 KDR, and an 80 ADR, leading the team in all of those stat categories, as he did in the regular season as well. Rain taking their time once more, leaning more towards the B site than the A site. They do have that lurk in the form of Spammer. Last time he lurked around A, he got taken out. If he can do some damage, that will force at least one rotate towards A, and that's what Rain wants to happen. Shoker now committing to the B site. 42 seconds left. Smokestone KMZ walks out, gets the entry into B. That's one down. Willmeister, the last one standing to defend the B site, does find KMZ, but gets traded out by Powers. Spammer also gets the headshot on Spongy on the A site. Swan, and now going to have to do the damage on B. Gets Powers, looking to drop more. Spammer on the site with 32 HP. Shoker's the one who finds Swan, but Turismo's still standing, looking to do more damage, but can't. Dolphy to the rescue, and Rain finally pick up a round after losing 8 in a row. They finish off the half at 9-6 and at least prevent iNTACT from getting into double-digit round victory territory, which can be a psychological edge. I'm JRT. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. If you are, I would really appreciate a follow at JRTTV with 2 E's at the end. You can find that in the top left-hand corner of your screen. And of course on Twitch, if you'd be so inclined to follow me with at JRTTV without the 2 E's at the end. I will be posting highlights of the match This one has concluded as we're waiting for the second half of action to get underway. And Turismo had 100 plus ADR in both maps last night. I think it was 109 and 102. I think the issue here for Rain is that iNTACT has 5 members that are as good as KMZ, and they only have KMZ. So that's really the challenge for them to overcome. I'm not saying the other guys on Rain are bad. I'm just saying that iNTACT is so good that it's hard to match up with them, at least in advanced. Time for Swan to shoot ducks, says Father Three Boys. Yeah, we'll see how Swan performs on the T side. So far, has been pretty good with the op. A key to their little 8-round run there. So we're still waiting for the second half to get underway, guys. I believe, yeah, there's a lot of I think all the matches started at 9:30, so I might as well check in on those and see what's going on since we have time, and I can update you guys. So I think HLTV might be the best place to check here. Oh, we got started in the second half. I'm still going to try and check quickly. Mast is up 8 to 6 on Furia. I told you guys, Mast is going to be a handful for Furia. They could upset them tonight. That would be the hugest upset of the season in advanced. RMU Esports are up on final feature 8-2. I think that one's going to flip around. iNTACT, while you're watching it. And Blitz Reborn against Fundamentals. That one's really close, as expected. 8-7 in favor of the Fundamentals. But we're back here. 9-6 for iNTACT. Man, that Furia match. Furia did pick up the last round of the half. They're 8-7, guys. Shoker waiting patiently here. The fuse kit bought up by Dolphy with the smoke grenade over on iNTACT. They did buy up a decent amount of utility, but they've used most of it. Swan has a flash remaining and Shake with the molly. KMZ waiting inside of the smoke here. And he's going to back up. Oh, Turismo catches him off guard. KMZ had no idea Turismo was coming there, snuck his way to connector with 2 of his teammates, and they stormed right out into that A site. They still have to deal with one member, that is Powers, and of course the rotations that are coming in. Spongy waiting for Spammer to rotate. Good patience here by iNTACT, not committing to the A site and waiting for Rain to come to them. Unfortunately, they haven't dealt with Powers yet. He's underneath balcony, and he headshot Swan. Willmeister tries to get the response, still not able to connect with the Glock at that range, and Powers, by the skin of his teeth, surviving here. Spongy finally ends him, though. 4v2, Dolphy and Choker stacked up inside of CT spawn. They're going to have to get some nice flicks here to take this one back. They charge out together, and that could be their undoing. Indeed it is. Willmeister and Turismo cap it off, and iNTACT do indeed find their 10th round victory, 10-6 in their favor. Turismo at 18 frags now, 18-8. Spongy 19-11. And Shake only at 6-8, but I'm sure he's not too troubled. As long as the team is winning, these guys really don't care about the stats too much. And that's how it should be. If you're finding a way to win and you have someone who might not be fragging that well, there's no reason to worry about it. And even if you're not winning, stats aren't everything, guys. And I think that's something that isn't really appreciated enough in North American Counter-Strike. I think the Europeans have it pretty down pat, not really caring as much about the statistics and more about the chemistry and the team play. I think North America's catching up, though. Anyway, here comes the execute from iNTACT over onto the B site. Some smokes and flashes being thrown. Spongy catches off Spammer. Shoker goes down to Turismo. And, of course, it's just a full save round for Rain. So iNTACT, if they lose this one, it's basically their round to win or lose. KMZ does have the Zeus. He might try to get a little cheeky with that. He's done it before. In the last match of the season against Reload Focus, got a clean little double, starting off with the Zeus and picking up the AK off the ground. Powers does get Turismo. Swan and Spongy cap off Dolphy and Powers, leaving only KMZ standing. He just runs out with the Zeus and tries to get one, but it's not going to happen. 11th round victory, for Intact, 11-6 in their favor. 18th round of play. And almost everyone on Rain is in double-digit frag territory, but unfortunately they're all below the 500 mark. Dolphy struggling a little bit at 4 and 13, but he does have 50 frags, or excuse me, 57 frags in the playoffs leading into this match, and had a 1.02 KDR. 3 members of Rain were below a KDR of 1 coming into this one. Spammer 0.67, Power 0.85, and Shoker 0.80. This is why I'm saying it's so important for KMZ to perform in terms of frags for Rain. And as you can see right now, only at 11. Just not enough just yet for them to come out and get back into this one. Dolphy does find the opening frag on Turismo, though. Hey, Klazia, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Spammer finds a second on Willmeister. Swan down to 16 HP, and they're just trying to get into this B site. Not really working out for them. Shake rocking the Mac 10 and does the damage on Shoker, who doesn't have the head armor, and then goes down to the H-tier grenade from Spongy. Spongy and Shake still standing, and Spongy gets a second. Intact somehow making this one come together. Powers has other ideas, but with the trade, Spongy makes it a 1v1. Dolphy coming in from Mark at 100 HP, full body armor. Spongy almost the same, 78 HP, but does have the body armor as well. 3K for him, looking for the fourth, and Dolphy doesn't check bench! Dolphy not looking around bench. What a surprise there. And he goes down pretty niftily, 4K coming in for Spongy, and he's lighting it up, guys. 25 and 11. Spongy with only 29 frags. I say only 29 frags, but he still played really well last series. But 29 frags coming into this one. He's almost matched that in map number 1, and he looks like the Spongy we saw in the last map of the season. And that one was up against RMU Eagles, and that was 16-8 victory on Nuke, where Spongy had 27 frags. In the chat, Poet's saying Spongy's a hell of a pickup. Absolutely. I think Spongy really gives Intact that bona fide MDL experience that they were really looking for, so that you look at some of those matches in the qualifiers where I'll get back to it. Anyway, Powers going to get the Wandig on Turismo. Nice shot there by Powers, and I think he gets a Mac 10 as a reward. Spongy sees KMZ trying to charge up, flicks down to him like it's nothing, and gets the headshot. 4v4. But yeah, what I was saying was getting Spongy makes those qualifier matches against MDL teams where Intact was losing 16-12 or 16-13, really close score lines, turning it around probably the other way, in my opinion. They just needed that little bump. I'm curious to see how they perform against Furia. That's why I'd really like to see a Furia Intact final, because Intact, unfortunately for them, only got 8 rounds against Furia, which is not bad against a team like Furia, but still, I was expecting an overtime match. At the very least, Spammer going to burn alive in that molly at Van. Willmeister takes out Choker. Spongy spots out Spammer, and Dolphy and Powers are the last 2 standing. They don't have much bought up here, and they're just going to try and go for some frags. Powers from Underpass faces down against the AKF Shake and goes down. And Dolphy's the last one standing. Spongy is on it tonight, man. Poet says, going for the casual 30. Yeah, he's just making it look very, very easy at this point. 27 and 11. That's the identical scoreline that he had in the last match against RMU Esports of the regular season. So Spongy picking up his game at the right time. Bomb going to tick away and explode. Dolphy is just trying to get exit frags and pick up a gun. I don't think anyone's going to come near this area, though, for Intact. They're going out of the apartments. And Dolphy's going to find nothing but that deagle into the next round. But still, $700 is nothing, not too shabby. 13-6 in favor of Intact. And Rain unable to pick up a round victory in this second half. At least not yet. Intact have 4 in a row. Now Rain going to have double op setup. 3 M4A4s versus Intact's op and 4 AKs. Really rare not to see Swan rocking the op. I think the only time you might see it a little more frequently is on Inferno T side. Because Inferno, I mean, yeah, I shouldn't say that. He almost always has the op on Inferno as well. Just Inferno's one of those maps where you can rock 5 AKs and just favor the mobility, because the rotations happen very frequently on that map. Sometimes you don't want to have an op posted up. You just want to have the AKs charging forward. Dolphy Looking down towards the A ramp, and then Amali's going to come in his direction. Going to defuse it with the smoke, and KMZ comes out, wins the op duel against Swan this time, 5v4. Turismo's already managed to make his way towards Connector, though. Dolphy doesn't know he's there, and Powers is the one who's going to have to fend them off. Powers sees Woolmeister come into window, and now he's down, so that opens up some space for Turismo to walk into that A site. Now KMZ's getting pinched in here. Shake's going to try and go from the A ramp. KMZ's not too fussed. Jumps up on the box, gets Turismo, and backs right down. 4v3 man advantage granted at the hands of KMZ. Shake gonna grab the op here. Excuse me, not the op, gonna grab the bomb. I like that play by Woolmeister. Sneakily coming around the corner, Shoker was staring up at the apartments, didn't hear Woolmeister at all, but the trade does come in from Spammer. Shake and Spongy just storming into this B site, knowing it's clear since Woolmeister just went right on through it. And the bomb has been planted, so post-plant, 3v2, man advantage. Make that a 2-man advantage for Rain as Dolphy knocks the head right off of Spongy, leaving only the one and only Shake, the IGL for iNTACT, who's done this before, but not this time. KMZ has the last say, getting the 3K, and Rain finally respond here in this second half, ending the 4-round run for iNTACT and picking up their 7th round victory. They still got a bit of a hill to climb here on Mirage, and I think it's their best chance of the 3 maps to get a victory. Or at least get some momentum going in their favor. So iNTACT, still tons of money in the bank. At least enough to buy up in this round pretty fully. 4 AKs in the op. Over on Rain, they're going to stick with that double op setup. 2 M4A4s and the M4A1S. iNTACT leaning heavily towards this B site. Not committing yet, and they're setting up their smokes and flashes for that B site. Woolmeister waiting for the smoke to fade, and there it goes. Like they're going to try and throw this flashbang outside the window. There it goes. I think that Rain might have been expecting that, as Woolmeister got tagged for a little bit of damage. Does manage to go out with a couple of nicely thrown flashbangs, but handily gets taken down by Spammer. 5v4. iNTACT is extremely lit, but they're still making it happen. Spongy getting Spammer. Swan finds Shoker. Look at that. 3 members below the 50 HP mark, and Swan still getting frags. KMZ goes down. 2 for Swan. Cannot be stopped. Yes, that op, you don't need more than 1 HP to find the frags. Dolphy and Powers still standing. Swan with the 3K. Dolphy goes down. Spongy finds Powers as well. 5 frags all coming at the hands of Spongy and Swan. Spongy has 29 here. Rain, I mean, that round was theirs for all intents and purposes. So much damage done to iNTACT, and they were still pretty full. All they had to do was wait, maybe patiently, hide a little more carefully around those corners and let iNTACT come to them. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with someone like Swan, it's easy to say to let someone come to you, but he can just flick around with that op like the best of them. Rain going to be on a full-on save here. 4 USPSs and the Deagle. iNTACT only need 2 more rounds to secure Mirage, and that's a good start. Turismo spots out Powers. I mean, Rain is pretty much giving iNTACT the 15th round here, unless they can pull off an impressive round. I mean, I've seen Furia do it with just the USPSs and some Zeuses. And KMZ does get the Zeus frag on Swan. Has to be a little bit frustrated that that happened. Woolmeister with the quick trade. 2 USPSs and a Deagle still standing for Rain. That's in the hands of Spammer, Dolphy, and Shoker. Shoker and Dolphy on this A site. Turismo spots that Spammer. That makes, pretty much clears out the B site. Nice shots from Dolphy, though. Spots out Shake at long range with a double tap headshot from the USPS, but Woolmeister wraps it up with the last 2. 3K for him on the round. 15-7 in favor of iNTACT. 1 more round victory, and Mirage is theirs, and they have 8 chances to get that 1 round. two M4A4s and a UMP45, a FAMAS, and an M4A1S over on Rain's side on iNTACT. As usual on their T side, 4 AKs and the AWP. Seeing in the chat, the fundamentals are so bad, says Chazzy. Something happening in the match that I'm not aware of against Blitz Reborn? Last I checked, it was pretty close. Shoker. There it is. Swan finding the opening frag. Walking through apartments and looking for more action on B. Rain just forcing up whatever they can get here, of course. Not going to have any more utility to work with, and they're facing off against a plethora of flashbangs here at that B site. iNTACT moving their way onto the A site and faking a hit, perhaps. The bomb is not committed to either site just yet. Only Spammer remains on B. iNTACT losing one. That's Willmeister to Powers on that A site. Swan gets Spammer. And now Turismo finding Dolphy as well. iNTACT trying to wrap it up right here, right now. Powers and KMZ, the last two standing. Powers staring down at a molly, and iNTACT closing in on his position. There comes a flashbang. KMZ from mid. Gets spongy. Bomb getting it planted at A. Swan gets another 3K, and then Shake wraps it up 16-7